Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jacob Bennett with Bulldog Analytics, and today we are going to discuss how to create an export of your measures list out of a PBIX file using the DAX Studio external tool. So you can do this, or you can accomplish this task by using other external tools. DAX Studio, I think, is just the most prominent for this, along with a slew of other things. And it's also just my preference based on the interface. It's very simple. Basically, this allows you to kind of create a dictionary of all of the measures in your PBIX file, especially if you're leaning really heavy into DAX, or maybe you're collaborating with someone else. They've gotten a little out of control. They've got like 100 measures in their file, and you want to help them clean it up. Sometimes it's good to take a step back, understand what you're starting with, and then go from there. I think that creating kind of a master list of all the measures in your file is a good place to start. So we're going to walk through how to do that today. All right, so first, the most important thing is to have DAX Studio as an external tool on your desktop. So to do that, we need to go out to daxstudio.org, as I've already got pulled up here, and very simply, you can click through and go through the installer process. Now, in order to get this to appear in your Power BI desktop application, you'll probably need to restart your Power BI desktop. If that doesn't work, look up a more official install video, but I think it's as simple as that. All right, so the example file that we're going to be using today is a personal finance dashboard that I started building early last year, back when I was pretty comfortable with Power BI, but I wasn't as comfortable as I am now. And I really haven't touched it since then. I've kept the underlying data updated, but what I want to do is really revamp this, kind of restart. And I want to take the measures that I've already created. As you can see over here, I've grouped them together in this measures table, although I do have some housed in other tables as well. And I want to kind of evaluate what I've got, see if I can clean up any of the measures, create more efficiencies in how they're written and stuff like that. And I want to export all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click over to external tools here at the top. As you can see, I really enjoy external tools and I like to play around with them, but today we're talking about DAX Studio. This is by no means a DAX Studio tutorial. We're just simply going to be talking about exporting a list of your DAX measures. So you click on DAX Studio to launch it. All right, so this is kind of your landing page in DAX Studio, and I'm going to click over to DMV. Now this stands for Dynamic Management Views, and it allows you to kind of lean into some already built views that DAX Studio has created for us. And what we are interested in today is going to be, I believe, let's see, TM schema. Let's see, I can type in up here to search. So look, we've got MD schema measures and TM schema measures. These are very similar. We can take a look at how they differ, but all you need to do is either double click it or drag it over, and it's going to create a SQL-like code. As you can see, it's got select all from this MD schema measures table. And I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we're going to take a look at what it spits out. So as you can see, there's a ton of information in here. Not really sure what catalog name is, but some things that might be pertinent in our specific instance here is measure name. There's a caption available. If no caption is plugged in, it just defaults to the measure name. There's several other things in here. We're going to jump over to the expression. So this is kind of the bread and butter of what I'm trying to get at right here. So we've seen measure name, we see expression. Now let's see if there's table name in here, because that's very important, I think, just to understand how everything's organized, especially if you don't have it all grouped together in a measure table. Well, that might be what this is, measure group name, and I see measure table, and then I've got a few in these other tables as well. So I think that that's what that stands for. Now let's take a look at this TM schema measures and see what that is. We're going to run that. All right, so this differs a little bit. You've got table ID, which is not the table name. You've got the name of your measure. You've got your expression again. You've got the format string, which is pretty cool. Whether it's hidden or not, which could be helpful for like an end user experience, determining whether it's something available, if it's being used as a shared data set. But that's really about it. So you actually are missing the table name in this version. And for what I'm trying to accomplish, I would really like to see the table name, and I just want to pull out table name and expression. So we're going to take a look at this MD schema measures again. And like I said, this is a SQL code up here. And so if you're at all comfortable or familiar with SQL, this asterisk indicates that we're pulling everything available, but you actually can interact with this and only pull what you're interested in. So I want to see measure name, I want to see expression, and then I also want to see table, which is going to be this measure group underscore name column. And I'm going to actually put that at the beginning of my select statement. Let's see if I can rename it as table. Looks like table is a SQL function as it displays in blue there. So let's put some brackets around that and see if that works. All right, so this is all the information I need. So it keeps me from exporting all that extra stuff that I don't really care about in this instance, and it just kind of gets to the point. All right, so now that I've got the information that I'm interested in, how do I export it? Well, it's based on however you have the results drop down here selected. So currently we have it selected as this results table, which results in this table down here below. I want to change this to a static Excel document. So I'm going to change it to that, and then when I click run, it creates a pop-up here, and I'm going to go ahead and say personal finance measures, because this is from my personal finance report. Click save. It shows that the query batch is completed, and I can go in and I can I can open my new document. All right, so this is the file that it spits out. As you can see, it's already formatted as a table. I can break out the columns so that I can see everything. As you can see, it's simply just your table name, your measure name, and your expression. It does wrap the text, as you can see, so that you can view how the DAX has been formatted in your expressions column here. Looks like it's left a little bit of bonus room at the bottom there, so maybe you want to double click there to just show as needed. But yeah, that's it. Basically gives me a quick and easy view into all the measures that I've created. Obviously DAX can create some pretty heavy rendering in your report and slow things down if things aren't created efficiently. So having this view will allow me to analyze that, maybe clean things up, and have kind of a data dictionary of the measures from my report that I can display in my personal finance dashboard or whatever report you're working in, or just store somewhere to have as reference. I should have mentioned this when we were exporting our results initially, but because my whole approach around this is to ultimately make changes and improvements to the measures in my report and then kind of see where we're at that point. I shouldn't have exported a static report, but I should have really leaned into this linked report option, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a live linked report that you can refresh based on the changes in your PBIX report, and we'll show an example of that. I clicked run. After I selected link, I'm going to click enable, and then as you see here, I've got the exact same report that I exported as a static report earlier, but I've got this refresh button up here at the top. So let's test this out real quick, and in my personal finance dashboard, I'm just going to create a quick example measure. And then let's go over to our synced document and click refresh. Let's see if it populates. All right, there we go. There is our new measure. And if you make any changes to the existing measures, that will also be reflected. One thing that I think would be really cool to see is when measures are being referenced by other measures, and if maybe that's the only place that first tier measure is being used, because if so, then you can nest it in the final measure as a variable and save yourself a lot of rendering time and just clean up the overall look and feel of your report. This starts getting into dependencies, understanding which measures are dependent upon other measures, or even which measures are dependent upon other fields and tables. And so I'm actually going to create another video. You can export dependencies out of the DMV view in DAX Studio, and I'd love to walk everyone through how to do that as well. And we can kind of couple it with this export in order to kind of maximize our understanding around the DAX measures in our report. All right, guys, thank you for watching today. Hope you find this content beneficial. If you like stuff like this, little tidbits of information related to Power BI and other data analytics tools, then I hope you follow along, subscribe, all that stuff. Got a lot of videos in the works, so I hope you keep up with those, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.